My name is John McFarland,
Kay Jernigan.
and we are from Quartzsite, Arizona, here to be with you today. Well, let's start out at the very beginning of it instead of just dropping right into La Paz. We were having problems at home. I had no muscle control whatsoever. I couldn't stand. Everything about me was going downhill rapidly.
I was sitting there watching him die, and he'd been a couple of doctors, and of course blood tests were, quote, normal, but when he basically slept, really was at the point he didn't care about eating, and just laying there or sitting in a chair, I knew it was not right. It was not right. And then he was in bed laying down, and he says, Kay, I think you need to call the ambulance. And he says, I feel like I did when the liver was messed up. So I took his blood pressure, I took his temperature. I managed to get him in the chair because I knew they couldn't get in that bedroom. So luckily we made it to the chair. So I called the ambulance and told them it didn't need to be red light and sirens. And the fire department came. And I said, I know it's not a heart attack. And so they did the heart and all, and apparently that was a little irregular, but they couldn't find anything. And he asked, he says, well, do you still want him to go to the hospital? I says, yes, something is wrong. So they managed to get John. He couldn't walk then. He didn't have the strength to get up and walk at all. So they got a chair and helped him down the steps, and the ambulance had gotten there by then, and so they brought him to the La Paz hospital.
And here at the La Paz Hospital, we were checked in immediately. But the doctor was a little concerned because he thought I had vertigo. Well, I've had vertigo before. That's why I wear this wristband. It's a special one to keep me from having vertigo. So I know what vertigo is, and I wasn't experiencing vertigo. I says, there's something wrong. So we had this beautiful blonde nurse that had taken care of her when we were here, was here to take care of me. And I says, oh, good, it's you. Great. So she immediately got me plugged in. The fire department put a pit in my arm so they didn't have to find one, and they hooked into that and started putting a saline solution into me. Did blood work immediately and sent it off, and it came back, and they went and did it again the second time. They thought maybe they'd made a mistake. They came back and says, you have dangerously high levels of potassium in your bloodstream. You are 8.3 on the level scale, and 9 is fatal. And I was that close. He says, we cannot send you anywhere because of the fact you may die in the traveling by helicopter. And I know helicopters are fast because I've been on 2 of them here lately.
3 of them.
3 of them?
Yeah.
I forgot one. But
Okay.
They got me hooked up and started running the saline solution through me so I would clear myself out.
Well, there was more than saline. It was insulin and sugar and a variety of drugs.
Okay, I had a variety pack.
And so they kept pumping it in, and I think it was after midnight they said they would keep you. So then I went home. And so that was Saturday night, and they kept you until Wednesday because they wanted to get it down where it was. And the doctor and the other doctors that saw him all emphasized that he was very fortunate that we got him in. At another day, he might not have made it. Then he went up to see his kidney doctor, and the doctor said, if I was there, I would immediately put you on dialysis. And so they're going to set him up for that because he says it will happen again. And then yesterday at church, one of the people brought a kidney doctor over to John, and the kidney doctor again said, "You're very fortunate because it was that close." But he got good care.
Getting back to the hospital, we did get admitted, and we got put in room 146. We had the view of the parking lot, and over here looking at the urgent care. So that was my view. But the nurses I had virtually did not leave me alone. I got one nurse. I had a problem. I would call the nurse station. That nurse would come in and take care of me. The nurse I had, the one they assigned me. No matter what else was going on, that nurse would always come to my rescue to help me out and to do what I needed to do. The next morning, she'd come in and, this is my replacement for the day. She will take care of you, and it went on from there. We had a little lady. She was strawberry blonde, skinny as can be. I don't know her name, but the lady was precious. I just really appreciated her. I don't know if she was a nurse or a nurse in training or just a helper. But she came in and she wanted to know if I needed to shave. The stuff was over there. Did you want me to shave you? No, I haven't had that yet. She says, did you want me to clean your teeth for you? Because I know you wear dentures. I go, no, only Kay does that. And just very, very helpful in wanting to help out in any way that she possibly could. I was very grateful for her. And I can't say enough about the nurses. I love my nurses because when you're in the hospital, a person doesn't realize the doctor comes in and visits you for 10 minutes. The nurses are the ones that take care of you and bring you back. They're the ones that work the machines. They're the ones that keep you plugged in when things go bad and they need that. A little bit on the family history, if I may. My daughter was a registered nurse for 17 years. She went and changed her career field and became a family nurse practitioner. And she was right in the middle of this, calling her, making sure they did this, did that. She loves her dad very much. And it shows in the help that she was trying to give me at a distance. But the nurses were doing just fine. That's what she told her. The nurses are doing just fine. And they did. They did just fine. When we finally got the potassium down to a level that was tolerable, to where I could start using my brain, because the potassium affects your muscles. It affects your nerve system. It affects a little.
Your heart.
Not enough can kill you. Too much can kill you. You got to be right in that little bit. And I was way over. But when they got me down to below 5.5, I started using my brain again. And I am a very witty individual. And they just love that. I had one lady come in, every morning they'd start out, with like a new list in their paperwork. Are you married? How many children do you have? And such. So I was feeling pretty good that day. And the nurse says, as she's going through, she says, "Are you married?" And I says, "No. Are you interested?" And she left the room, and I could hear her just laughing in the hallway. And then she came back, and we started over again. And she bypassed that question. But it was just the fact that we had a stay here in this hospital that could have been devastating for the family. La Paz Hospital had a rumors about it that if you want to live, go someplace else. If you want to die, go to La Paz. Well, I am here to tell you that these people jumped through hoops to do everything they possibly could to bring me back to life. And they did. They brought me back to life. I really feel good. My joints hurt, but that's not because of what they did. That's just me, old age. But they did a beautiful job at bringing me back and making me not 100%. I'll never be 100%, but as close to 100% as I could get. And I thank them so very much for that, because they did a job. And the doctor that I had stayed here for hours, late hours. Yes, he had other patients, but he stayed here for me for late hours to make sure that I was going to be okay. That's the sign of a person that really appreciates his job. And he did his job very well, and I thank him for that.
And the ER doctor was right there on top of it. He was good. I had him when I smashed my finger, and so good people.
I wanted to share my story with this hospital because if you start at the top, the rock will reach the bottom. It'll either be good information or bad information when it gets there. It'll either tear the place up or it can rebuild something. But I wanted to start at the top and let them know what they had done to help me out, and to use this for others, for other people that have questions about coming to La Paz Regional Hospital, and what can they do for them. And the thing is La Paz Regional Hospital can do a lot for you if you're willing to work with them. Well, I didn't have much of a choice, but I was willing to work with them. And I put myself in their care, and they brought me to where I need to be. I've been here last year, I've been here 3 times, and they had to send me away because of what I had. Because there's hospitals that are specialized in what I had, and I wasn't in a time frame that if I had left, I wouldn't come back. So we went for 3 helicopter rides last year, but they did their job to start with. And I just want people to know that La Paz has really changed. They have come a long ways. They have put a smile on my face, which I hope will put a smile on somebody else's face. Is there anything else you can think of? I ask her because she's got the brain that works.
Yeah, right. Well, your brain wasn't working when all this happened, and that's the scary part. Like I said, I was watching him deteriorate and die, and I've seen a couple of people die. And it's pretty darn scary when there's something wrong with him. Well, the blood tests all look good, everything looks good, but it wasn't right. So I was very happy. That was like the ER doctor. He says, vertigo, okay, but we're going to run some tests and find out what's going on. And John and I both said, it's not vertigo. And then he came back after the blood technician took the second, and he says, your potassium's high, we're going to send you someplace else. And then they got busy, and we're keeping you. So they got right on it and took care of the issue and got him through it. So that was good.
And we didn't get put on a dialysis machine. We just had a lot of fluids running through my body, which was good. It ran through, it ran out, it ran through, it ran out.